University of Nigeria Enugu Campus has five female hostels and two male hostels. In this video, I'll be talking mainly on female hostel and generally on how to get it because it's still the same way of getting it. They stay three persons for each room, but Ibiam is the biggest hostel, so like they stay up to 5 to 6 persons in a room. Oh, I think I forgot my intro. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tonia. If you're new here, you're welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know I love you so much. Thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. So let's continue. Hostel hunting Unec is very terrible. Like you won't understand it until you have been through it. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before considering getting a hostel. We get our hostel space on the school portal, that's the school website, your student portal. Then the requirement is that you must have paid your school fees before you can get a hostel. Without paying your school fees, you can't get a hostel space. You can only occupy your space for just 1 year, that's one school session, the first semester and the second semester. After that, you vacate the hostel and it will be fumigated for the next set. We also have cleaners that cleans the toilet and bathroom and bags our waste. The hostel space costs 15,000 naira. This is one of the main reasons why people rush it because the rush is very high. So it costs 15,000 naira. And you know, in this Enugu, if you're living around this school area, uh, rent is very high, and that is because there are two schools over here. We have Unec and we have INT. So the rush for rooms are very high. That is why the rent is high. To get a self-con here costs over 200k, 200k plus, and even the cheaper ones will look like dirty. You may not like them. Then the single rooms with shared toilet and bathroom and all of that is from 80k, 90 to some are still up to 100, which is very high because you still share the toilet with up to like 6 persons or even more for some people. Some doesn't even have toilets, like they have to just use their buckets and all those stuff. So like getting a house here is, the rent is very high, even though there is no water. They try with lights here, but there is no water. You have to fetch water and pay for water again. So everything is just very high outside school here. That is the reason why people rush hostel. Like the rush is mad. Even to get the house here is very hard because, as I said before, the rush is high. So to even get the house, talk more of the rent is high. So people would rather stay in hostel to like save money and save the stress. Hostel is even way cheaper. So back to the hostel. When it is time to open the hostel portal, the date will be announced as early as possible so that people will start preparing. People that have not paid their school fees will start paying their school fees to wait for the fight. On that fateful day that the school portal will be opened, the thing you'll be seeing on our school this thing, the school website is server is busy. Try again later. Like to even enter the site that day, even if you're going to do another thing on the site, to even enter there that day is very hard because there are a lot of people fighting for hostel. There was even a year that the school website, or is it the hostel portal crashed. Like the rush is high. That is why I said in the beginning of this video that it's very terrible. The rush is very high and you may end up not getting, if you feel relaxed and you don't rush like others are rushing, you may end up not getting it. So during that period, some people give out their password to like anybody and everybody that can help them. You can even give your password to up to 10 persons to help you fight for the hostel. In your mind, you're wondering, what if a person gets two hostels? That is not possible. You can only get one. You're entitled to one space. So if you get the hostel, other persons that with your password, they'll just be showing them your the remitter, just the payments. I think the remitter that you used to pay for the hostel. So it's not possible that you get two spaces at once with one password unless you're using another person's password. But for that your own, you can only get one space. And when you have generated the pay slip, you need to pay before 3 days. If you don't pay for that 3 days, your space will be revoked and given to another person. So you have to pay for within 3 days. So after some days, after the hostel palaver and everything, maybe after some days or weeks, I don't know, the ICT will gather the revoked hostel and the ones they were not able to upload before, all those kind of stuff. They'll just gather them and still open the portal again for the second time. But that second time is spaces are usually very small, so it's still hard to get. There is something I skipped in this hostel portal. There are certain percentage that are allocated to each level, like the 100 level, the freshers get the higher percentage of the hostel because they're still new. They don't know around yet. So most of them would like to stay in the hostel. So uh higher distinct percentages allocated to them. Then I think the final year, the 4 other years, there are just some percentage that are allocated to each level. But the first year is usually higher. That means their chances of getting the hostel space is high. Okay, so after paying for your hostel space, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. You still have to do your clearance, and that clearance is another war because everybody that go hostel is still trying to do the same clearance. So the queue there is usually high when around that period that school starts. The queue is high. Then without that clearance, you can't enter your hostel. So you just have to do it. The mistake I made in my time was I came with all my luggages, hoping that I'll enter the hostel immediately I came. I didn't know that I had to do clearance and all of that. And this, let me tell you, we have hostel porters, those people that used to stay in hostel that will sign you in before you enter into the hostel. Like they are mean, sorry to say, but they won't allow you to enter the hostel without the clearance. No matter where you came from, even if you just came from Abuja or Lagos, they don't even care. Like you just need to do the clearance before they will allow you in. But there are some good ones, but they are very few. So the day I came, they didn't even allow me. I was standing outside with my luggages waiting for the clearance until now. Okay, I didn't finish the clearance that day. So I had to like look for where to squat till the next day. Then when I finished the clearance and everything before I could enter my hostel. So don't even make that mistake. You have to clear yourself first before you start packing everything and start coming to the school to enter the hostel. So after the clearance, you meet the mean porters, as I said before, that will stress you the final stress. They will have to sign you in. That one is not supposed to take time, but they will sign you in. I think they used to search because you don't enter the hostel with hot plates and there are some certain things. I think iron. No, you enter with iron, but it's hot plates that is the main one. So sometimes they search, sometimes when they don't have strength, they will leave you. So they will sign you in and do I think they used to give tissue. You are entitled to tissue. I don't know if it's every month or every 3 months, but they used to give tissue that first time that you sign in. They will give you a tissue and then you go and look for your room. And finally, you are in your room. You are welcome. Yes, you're welcome. So now let me tell you things you need to note now that you are in your room. So number one is you need to buy your pee bucket before even coming, like before entering the hostel, buy your pee buckets. Even though they sell it in school, you can just come down and find somewhere to buy it. But it's very important because you can't use the toilet there. It's very messed up, as in very messed up. So you have to buy your pee bucket. If you don't know what pee bucket is, it's a small bucket that you can use to pee and poo and all of that. So you have to buy it before coming. The second one is there is free water. I think Enugu state government used to give them free water, something like that. So for the hostels, there is tank for free water. Whenever it is announced that there is free water, that one the rush no be here. Another rush. Whenever it is announced, you rush to go and get line, carry 1 gallon and rush to secure your line because that one the rush is still high. Everything is rush in hostel, like everything is about rushing. You just have to be smart and agile. The third one is, like I said before, the hostel porters. I mean, just try as much as possible to ignore them and respect them because they are elderly. Most times, they are elderly people. Even though they are mean, you just have to respect them because if you don't, they might make your stay miserable there. So you just have to try to respect them. The fourth one is you have to be ready for the bad smell that you will inhale when you enter. The hostel is always dirty. Not always, but most times it's dirty because we smell from the toilet, from the some people even pour pee anywhere they see, like from the pigeon hole and everything. So you just have to be ready for the smell. It's very bad. The fifth one is you have to be ready to learn to live with people. In case you are a day student when you were in the secondary school, if you are a boarder, you already know how to live with people. But if you're a day student, you just have to learn to live with people because you meet like people from different backgrounds, you meet dirty roommates and all of that. So you just have to learn to accommodate people and to like protect yourself and everything. And lastly, learn to keep yourself clean. Because if you don't, if you have like a sensitive skin like mine, you might get infection like every time because the hostel is always dirty, like I said. So you just have to like learn to be clean within yourself, for yourself, by yourself. You have to learn to be clean and cover yourself very well when going to the toilet and everything. Your pee bucket, everything should be clean. And if you can even take the immune. There's some drugs for the immune to be strong. You need to like take them if you can. Then just keep yourself clean to avoid getting infection and treating infection all the time. I stayed in the hostel during my first year and my experience was bad because during that period our cleaners were not paid for I think 6 months and they went for strike. So everywhere was stinking dirty, like everywhere was very dirty. Toilet was not washed for like months. Everywhere was full. The toilet was full to the brim. Just everywhere was dirty and I used to treat infection like every month then because my skin is very sensitive so I can't stay in that kind of environment. So after that first year I didn't stay in hostel again. So that's it. You just have to like know all these things before getting a hostel, entering the hostel. Despite of all these things that I said, it's not that bad. People still stay in hostel. Every session, the hostel is always full. So it's not that bad. You can manage. For the price, I think is worth it. Okay, just 15K for the whole session. So it's worth it. If you watch this video to this point and you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please kindly subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? If you would like me to do like a hostel tour to show you inside the hostel, drop it in the comment section. And if you have any question or suggestion or anything, just drop it in the comment section. I'll be there to answer all your questions. I think that is it for this video. See you in my next video.